All right, let's talk about the most important part of copywriting. I don't know. You're gonna hear me say this again and again. It's like a bad habit. Like I feel like every part of copywriting is important, right? It's the most important part. Here's why. Okay, I say copy has two core purposes. Now, again, I'm telling you, I look at copywriting very differently than everybody else out there, so get ready to hear stuff you've never heard before. I'll ask people, what's the purpose of copywriting? And almost always, it's like 9.9 out of 10 times, people will say, to sell stuff. Okay, I mean, you're not wrong, because I probably wouldn't be writing copy if I didn't have anything to sell. But at the same time, I say copywriting has changed my life completely upside down in every area, not just in business. I mean, I am a more engaging, convincing, inspiring human because of it. So I guess one could argue that I'm selling my story or whatever, right? It's actually not to sell. Hang in there with me, because I think it's going to have a major impact on you. The two core purposes of copywriting, in my opinion, are, it's more than my opinion, but they are, number one, to get someone's attention. Okay, hold that thought. That's what we're going to speak about today. Our entire training right now in this video 3 is all about getting someone's attention. The second core purpose of copywriting is to keep their attention. Here's the theory off of which I work, and I have yet to find anyone that can prove me wrong. If you effectively get someone's attention and keep it for a long time, you got the sale. You're going to get the sale. The odds of you getting the sale have multiplied 10x, 20x, 30x, and that's what good copywriting does. Good copywriting doesn't sell the product. It drastically increases your odds of selling the product, right? Because you're never going to have 100% conversion, all right? So now that we understand that, this is why you'll understand why I say a great headline or a great hook is the most important part of copywriting, because it gets the attention. Without having anyone's attention, you have zero chance of getting anyone to buy anything, right? So what's the most important element? The other reason is, like, I always go back to that story, right? People say, if a tree fell in the forest and there was no one there to hear it, did it make a sound? My answer to that, ever since I was a kid, was, who cares? I've literally always been a smart aleck about that. Who cares if no one was around to hear it? Who cares if it made a sound? And that actually applies so specifically to copywriting. If you wrote the best offer and the best copy, but nobody's there to read it or hear it, who cares that you wrote that, right? That's why this is the most important part. Powerful headlines and powerful hooks get people's attention. Here's a visual that you'll take away, and this is what I say. This is me right now. I'm on Facebook, la-di-da-di-da, pictures of cats, pictures of people, blah, 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 blah. What? Do you see that? That moment between I'm scrolling, and I go, what? That was a powerful headline, powerful hook, attention grabber. And that's the first thing you need to be able to do as a copywriter. I bet you never thought about that in the visual, did you? You just start to throw words on the page. But when I throw words on a page, the first question I ask myself is, will that stop the scroll? Will it get people to stop scrolling? The stop the scroll test is one of the best tests to see if you've written a good headline or a good hook. So you've got to disrupt people in their flow, and you've got to get them to stop and engage with you. So the best hooks are going to provoke curiosity, relatability, engagement, right? This is why a lot of times you'll see people say, like, comment below or hit like, and you're just trying to get them to stop and do something, right? When they stop and do something, you have their attention. It's all about getting their attention. If you get them curious, they've stopped and they're thinking about what you've said. You got their attention. If you relate with them and they stop and they're thinking about you, because you and them are similar, you have their attention. So some questions to help you get started when you're coming up with a great hook, okay? First of all, what is your offer? It's important. I'm going to be very blunt, but I'll give it like an exaggerated example. Maybe you're selling to women above the age of 45. Well, make sure your hook doesn't get the attention of men above 30. Doesn't make any sense. What is a message that would appeal to women above 45? That's important to know. What's your offer? Are you selling, like, what are you selling? Because you want to try to attract the right person, right? What problems are you solving? A lot of times that right there can have a lot of hooks and angles right in it. Like, Are you helping them lose weight? Well, get more specific. Are you helping them lose weight quickly? Get more specific. Are you helping them get ready for the summer to have a summer beach body? Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Does that make sense? Like, what specific problem? Not just, oh, I'm helping them get healthier. That's not a problem. What specific problem are you helping them solve? Number 3, why the heck you? Right? So there could be a hook there. Hey, 47-year-old obese, the 47-year-old obese mother, which was me, built an award-winning body in 3 months. Oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I'm completely talking out of my butt. I'm not the target market. I'm not a mother. But do you see I'm starting to write like that? Why you? That hook says why you, right? It's implied like, hey, I know something you might want to know. What's your story? I mean, that's kind of similar to what I just said, right? That there could be a hook inside of that. So, and then what's your customer story? All right. So let's say I just for a fact know I'm talking to retired individuals that have heavy 401ks that they want to invest and get income from safely. I know their story. So my hook is looking for a safe way to pull 10% a year income out of your 401k without risking it. Bam. Punch them right in the gut. Right? Now notice I did not practice any of this. I make this stuff up as I go. Why? It's easy when you get to learn some of the formulas we use. It's super easy. These questions and the answers to these questions are hooks and angles and headlines. They come out of you. That's why I keep saying copy is about psychology. It's not about words as much anymore. Right? So I want to give you some proven hook ideas. I'm going to give you 5 that I swear you stick within these 5, you can make billions before you actually you never need anything more. I still live within these 5. Okay. So number 1, something controversial. Okay. The stock market's about to crash. Maybe we can get a little bit more specific. 3 indications that show the stock market will crash by next week. Ooh. Right. And people are like, what the hell? The stock market's going straight up. What is this guy talking about? It's controversial because it's against the grain. Why going to college is a bad idea. Why going to college will make your child broke. So what? What are you talking about? So you see, controversial is like go against the grain. Now, don't just make crap up. Make sure it's actually relevant to what you're teaching. But you see what I'm trying to say? Like you can go against the grain. Number 2, something surprising, shocking. The world's smallest desert is in Canada. I mean, if you can swing that into whatever hook and angle you've got going on, right? A recession is the best time to invest in housing. This is so funny because I actually got my attention a few years ago. I saw an email that led to a promotion, which I bought and spent a lot of money with and loved, was the quickest way to get wealthy is in a crashing economy. That was like literally the hook of the angle of it. And I'm like, what is this? And it was just surprising because it's not what you would expect, right? It's kind of borderline controversial as well. So it plays on both of these. Dramatic situation. Yesterday, I was called into my boss's office. My plane was delayed for 5 hours. I recently had one. True story. One of my best opening subject lines. I almost blacked out on my plane. I almost blacked on a flight. I forgot the exact subject line, but basically it's implying the truth. I was recently, before filming this, I was recently on a plane where the oxygen masks actually deployed. It was kind of scary. And I actually was feeling very lightheaded before I got a chance to put the masks on. So I told that story. It's a dramatic situation, so you get people's attention, but you better be able to segue that back into the topic that you're talking about. This works really well, by the way. Dramatic situations work really well. I've used these a lot. An interesting character. So how the most boring man in the world made me a millionaire. The stay-at-home mom that built an Etsy empire from her living room. These are cool. Like I recently watched a TikTok video that got my attention, scrolling, and it said, statistically proven, this is the luckiest man on earth. And I was like, what? How do you determine who the luckiest man on earth is? The video went on to show that the guy has survived 6 different catastrophes, like collapsing buildings, train wrecks, bus crashes, and went on to win the lottery later. Like by the time I'm done watching the video, I'm like, okay, that dude is by far the luckiest person in the world. Sure. Interesting character. Got my attention. Now, that was just a TikTok video. It didn't go to anything, but if it did, I would have been paying attention, right? It was like, here's the 7x luck formula that he's created or something. I would have laughed, but I would have paid attention, had my attention. The part of the hook and headline is just to get the attention, keeping the attention. That's what we use the 5 steps for. So, and then last but not least, be specific. I almost feel like what I've done is given you 4 hook and headline angles And number 5 is a non-negotiable. You have to tie it with one of the other 4. Being specific is the cardinal rule of copywriting in my book. I go around the entire company and I teach only one thing to my team. Be specific, be specific. If you're in marketing, be specific, right? To the point that you can't get too specific because then you're not compliant. But 3 simple steps to lose 10 pounds of muscles in 90 days. Like that would never make it in a Facebook ad, but that's damn good. It'll get people's attention. How I closed 357% more sales in just 2 weeks. That will make it. Why? It's not about you promising someone else to do it. It's what you did. That's cool. How I closed. Okay, let me give you an example. How I closed more sales in less time versus how I closed 357% more sales in just 2 weeks. Which one are you clicking? Don't even start with me. Being more specific will always make your copy better. So here's 5 more ideas. Ready? I don't love these. I'm going to give you 5 more just to keep the conversation going. But these can be tricky. And that's why they didn't make my first 5 list. Number 1, humor. Dangerous. It's very dangerous. All right? Not everyone finds everything funny. So when you tread on humor, you better be damn good at it. So for me, if you've ever seen me speak on stage, next time if you ever have a chance, watch me on stage. I'm rarely funny for the first 5-10 minutes. Okay? Unless I know the audience. If I know the audience, if I've been around that audience, I know who's in it, then I'm going to come right out the gate swinging. But if it's a brand new, you just threw me on an audience, I don't know who they are, I haven't had a chance to watch them. Typically, when I'm speaking at an event, I almost always watch the 2 or 3 speakers before me. I sit in the room, in the audience, and I just watch. I like to learn the audience. Okay? What kind of dynamic do they respond to? What kind of jokes do they respond to? What kind of things do they respond to? So watch me on stage. Seriously, you will see me do this. You know, see the psychology of how I present. For the first few minutes, 5 minutes, I'm not going to be that funny. I'm going to be I'm going to be entertaining, engaging. I'm going to try little things and I'm going to learn the audience. And then you'll start seeing me being a comedian on stage half the time and really engaging with people. But it's tricky. It takes master, and I'm still working on it. I'm certainly no Kevin Hart, but I tread lightly with humor. Okay. Number 2, a powerful quote. Tread lightly again. You guys have seen that I use the quote, "Every successful business person must be able to sell through the art of the written word." I don't use it as a hook or an angle. I tell it as part of the story. Powerful quotes can be very powerful, but some quotes make no sense to people. So tread lightly. Compelling statistic. Some statistics are good. They just don't exist in every scenario, right? And compelling. I think I should change that word to very compelling. It better be damn good. That statistic better tell a story. So the one that you hear me talk about a lot is goldfish, right? I talk about how average attention span of a human being is now 8 seconds. To be honest with you, if that's all that it was, I would never tell the story. That is 33% less than it was 10 years ago. I still wouldn't tell the story. It's the fact that a goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds, hence proving that humans now have less attention than a goldfish. That makes it super compelling, and that's why I tell that statistic. Otherwise, I wouldn't tell it. Current events, maybe there's nothing going on right now, right? And if you're writing an evergreen piece of copy, then your current event will die away in a couple weeks. So that's why I said tread lightly. If you're doing a live promo to your list, something big is happening, lean on it. Responsibly. When the pandemic happened, we saw a lot of idiots out there doing a lot of stupid things. Don't be one of them. And the format itself. Sometimes what you're doing itself is a great hook. Like, I'll tell you right now, if I was personally coaching, tomorrow I announced 10 people get to come live in my home with me and I will turn them into millionaires. Do you want to be one of those 10? Oh my God. First of all, I'm never doing that. But if I was, that in the format of the thing in and of itself is a great hook and angle. Again, very rare that you're going to do something where that fits. So that is why. And now, last rule, anything you do, add a question to it, it will elevate the hook. So, 45-year-old, obese woman builds award-winning beach body. Want to know her 5 steps? Like, all of a sudden, you create more engagement when you ask questions and you get people. Because what happens is the person reading it, they read, want to know their 5 steps. And you could even get sarcastic, smart aleck people that are like, go screw yourself. Guess what? Got your attention. I got you to reply to me. In your mind, in your subconscious, you replied. Hence, I have your attention. So it worked. Now it's my chance to win you over using the 5 steps. So, questions really work well. Look, over time, you'll develop some of your own variations to what I just gave you, but this video is probably one you want to watch again and again. And when you're sitting down next time to write some copy, and you're sitting down next time and you're like, okay, I got to write a sales page, I got to write an email, I got to write an ad, just watch this video again. I swear, this is the one video you probably need to see again and again and again and again. It always will speak to you. It's like when you're sitting there needing to write copy, something very specific, go through those first 5 I gave you, and you're going to have one where you're going to be like, boom, that works, Anik, thanks. So go through it, all right? That's it for this video. Thank you very much for being here. This is Anik Sagan reminding you, when life pushes you, stand straight, smile, and push it the heck back. See you soon.